Hello and welcome to the FMLS Market Intel Report. I'm Leslie Appleton-Young, Chief Economist for FMLS, with our last video for 2024. After a year of seesawing mortgage rates, rising inventory, lackluster but steady sales, and moderation in price appreciation, all eyes are on 2025. To date, the housing market forecasts that have been released tell a familiar tale, essentially more of the same. The fundamental story says that inflation will be controlled, the economy will slow but still grow, and the Fed will cut at a cautious pace, and rates will gradually, albeit unevenly, decline throughout the year. In short, for the housing market, expect to see more inventory, moderately higher prices, and more sales in the year ahead. Let's dive in. Underlying the lower rate scenario is an economy that delivers two results simultaneously: inflation at or near the Fed target of 2%, and a healthy job market with unemployment in the range of 4%. And all this seems quite reasonable. While prices rose slightly to 2.7% in November, housing costs actually slowed. Rent and ownership housing is a very large component of the CPI, and November's data are a welcome sign of slower price gains ahead. Note that these forecasts also assume the absence of headwinds. Tariffs and labor supply shortages are all possibilities. But barring such shocks, the Fed will be able to continue with the rate cuts it initiated this past September. The funds rate is currently around 4.6%, while the target rate for a neutral monetary policy, neither contractionary nor expansionary, is about 2.9%. That gap leaves room for further cuts going forward into 2025. What this means for mortgages, according to the most optimistic forecasts, is a drop from the current rate around 6.6% to closer to 6% by the end of the year. This will boost affordability, ease the rate lock-in effect for some homeowners, mostly those who have to move, and unlock some existing home inventory. All good news. You've likely noticed that rates have been heading lower for the past several weeks. The anticipation of a December rate cut, post-election relief, and growing confidence in the state of the economy are all at play. Add to that solid income growth and a bullish stock market, and we are seeing an increase in housing market activity, certainly when we compare it to last year. For example, in December, active listings in the FMLS market area were up 16.7% over the same period last year. Year to date, active inventory of single-family detached properties is actually up 38% over last year. While inventory is still well below pre-pandemic levels, the response to rates and the overall economic environment that we're experiencing today bodes well for 2025. While year-to-date sales are even with last year, in November, single-family detached home sales were up 2%, while on a weekly basis, closings were up 4.6% over 2023. Pending sales also showed a gain of 6.3% in the last week. In other words, we are seeing the signs of renewed momentum in the market as we look at the weekly data. For next year, NAR is forecasting sales increasing from 4 million to 4.5 million. Others are much less optimistic. Whatever story prevails, there is every reason to expect that Georgia will continue to outperform the nation. As for prices, so far in 2024, the average sales price in the greater Atlanta area for single-family detached properties is $547,938, a 4.4% annual increase. This is quite robust given the gain in inventory. What's happening? Shouldn't more supply reduce prices? Affordability is keeping buyers on the sidelines. That's been the story all year. For attached properties, the average sales price of $406,664 is not only quite a bit lower, but also showed a bit of softening with a drop of 2.2% over last year. This is why condos are such an important part of the overall homeownership equation. The National Association of Realtors is forecasting a 2% gain in home prices nationwide to a median of $410,700 next year. In sum, the 2025 housing market is expected to offer more opportunities for buyers and renters with increased inventory and stabilizing prices. There's a wonderful quote about forecasting that goes something like this: "The best way to predict the future is to create it." My advice is to be your own forecaster. The most important story for 2025 is the one about your specific market, and you understand that market better than anyone. Atlanta will continue to be a very desirable place to call home because of jobs, affordable housing, lower tax rates, remote work, retirement, and quality of life. We've got it here. Use the market data to create your own future. Please take a look at market intel on the FMLS website to access the most current market statistics. They are updated weekly. So if you are interested in resources relevant to our market dynamics, we've got you covered. And with that, I wish you all a wonderful and happy holiday season. For FMLS Market Intel, this has been Leslie Appleton-Young. See you next time.